But knowing that you've done the marathon and you're still kind of semi-running but hating it, do you listen to any music or anything when you're doing it, or
yeah,
you just kind of you do?
Oh, I couldn't not do it with me. It's just like I always say, it's like people who go to the gym without headphones. I'm like, how on earth? Like I look at them and I think this person is like unbelievable. If I remember, I've because I have to drive. I mean, I could walk. I'm lazy. I drive to the gym. I could walk, but I drive. Like I've got kind of like pretty much all the way to the gym before and realized I forgot my headphones. And I'm like, right, turn around, gotta go back, get the headphones. I couldn't do it without the music. I don't know, something about music that just helps for me. And there's certain tunes, you just put them on and you're like, yeah, this is my gym tune. But running without the music would be even harder because, like I said, because when I'm running, all I'm doing is thinking about the end, right? I can almost kind of tell how long I've been running for based on the music I'm listening to. So like, right. I just average it out that every song is about 3 minutes. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm like 3 songs in, I've done 9 minutes of running, right? You know, right? So
nearly there.
Yeah, I try to like work it out like that, which is terrible, really. I should just concentrate on trying to go faster or, you know, run for longer. But
no, we all do it. We all do it.
Totally. You know, that I'm one of those people that if I run on a treadmill as well in the gym, I have to cover up the, you know, the screen and stuff with my towel, because otherwise I'm just transfixed on the screen, like looking at it. Like the seconds seem like they're taking 10 seconds to tick over.
Well, on the music then, if there were 3 albums that you were allowed, the only 3 albums you're allowed for the rest of your life so far, what would they be?
Oh, that is a good question. Well, I've already mentioned one of those albums. I'd say Boy in the Corner from Dizzee Rascal, because, you know, for me, it's an album which it just, like music and smell, I always say, are like the 2 things, and maybe taste as well, I guess. They're like the things that can take you right back to a moment, you know, just like that. You can hear a certain song and you're like, bang, it reminds you of being 12. Listening to it in your bedroom or whatever, or you can smell a certain perfume or aftershave and it reminds you of that boyfriend you had or girlfriend you had, like, you know, whatever it is. So Dizzee Rascal, Boy in the Corner, that takes me back to, you know, my parents. So I grew up in South London, a stone's throw away from Selhurst Park, Crystal Palace's stadium. But like I said, I had no choice. They're my second team, but I had no choice but to support Arsenal. And when I was, how old was I? 15, 16, my parents moved to Portsmouth. That's where they still live in Portsmouth now. So they're my 3rd team, Pompey, play up Pompey and that. Yeah, my parents moved there. And it was around that time that Boy in the Corner came out. And it just reminds me of that time in my life, that kind of weird uncertainty that I had moving to Portsmouth, because I moved in between it was the summer between year 10 at school and year 11, which is probably the worst time to move because you're smack bang in the middle of, you know, doing C's and stuff like that. So it was a really weird, uncertain time for me. I had to go to a new school to do my GCSEs, which was a mixed school as well. I went to an all boys school in London. So to go to a mixed school, like, you know, for the last 6 months of my schooling, was crazy. Like, I just couldn't get my head around the fact that there was girls sitting like in the same room as me, because I didn't know how to chat to girls. I mean, some girls might say I still don't know how to chat to girls, but like, you know, it was just bizarre. It was a bizarre time. And it just reminds me going back to that moment. And also, in Portsmouth at that time, it's changed a lot now. It's very multicultural. But when I first moved to Portsmouth, you know, it wasn't a very multicultural place. People didn't really get the music that I listened to. Grime was not big at all. I was this person who was like pushing Dizzee Rascal down people's throats, and they were like, "What is this?" You know. So definitely Boy in the Corner. Then I think I would go for Kano, Home Sweet Home. So that's Kano's first album that he dropped, because again,
continues to fly the British flag.
Yeah, P's and Q's was on that album, Night Night, Brown Eyes. You know, there were so many great songs on that record. And again, another one that I can listen to from start to finish. And for a long time, you know, when kind of the UK music first started to boom, back in kind of when was it, 2010, 2011, 2012? That's when like UK urban music started to you know, go on the ascendancy. I was saying from then, you know, Home Sweet Home came out in 2004, I think, and it fitted very well with the music that was coming out in, you know, 2010, 2011, 2012. And I'm just like, Kano was just ahead of his time, you know. That kind of album, if that would have come out in 2012, it would have been massive. And, you know, I'm pretty sure, I mean, Kano's massive now, but, you know, I'm pretty sure he would have been even bigger if that album came out. And then I guess the third one, I was toying with the idea of going for a US album, but like, I got to stay true to my roots, you know, like I've grown up listening to UK music. So I'm going to go for The Streets and Original Pirate Material.
Oh my gosh, awesome.
So their first album, you know, unbelievable. And again, that came out at a time. I think what we tend to do with this stuff, you know, when you're asked about music and to pick music, you tend to, a lot of people fall back into when they first started discovering music properly, because we all, you know, growing up, you all knew about music, or you'd hear the songs your mum and dad would play and stuff like that, and that kind of molds your early influences. But then when you start making your own decisions in what you like and what you want to buy and what you want to listen to, it becomes a different kettle of fish. And for me, like, you know, my mate Robert, who lived around the corner from me in South London, he had an older brother called Daniel, and he had decks. And I never forget, like, he had Original Pirate Material on vinyl. And just from then, I was like, just transfixed with it. And it was something about Mike Skinner and the way, you know, even now, you know, Mike Skinner, when he does stuff, the way he delivers it, it's just
got a distinct sound, isn't it?
And people that don't get it really don't get it, you know, and that's fine, because I know music is very subjective. Not everybody's going to like the same thing. But like, you know, because Mike Skinner, he talks on songs like this and doesn't really do anything. He just said some words. Like, people are like, what the hell's that? This ain't music. He's got no talent. He's just talking. But it's like this weird kind of working class poetry almost, you know, and you know, that album, I just loved it. And it made waves. And, you know, I think Mike Skinner was somebody who, he was a pioneer of something, because it's hard to put the Streets in a box as well, isn't it? You know, you can't really go, oh, it's that genre of music or it's this genre of music. It was its own genre of music, it stood the test of time for me.
Yeah, but like you say, everyone's got different tastes. Is there anything that you listen to that people wouldn't expect you to listen to that's like a guilty pleasure?
I've got loads guilty pleasures. Oh, God. Like, just because I'm sitting here and next to me, I've got these cool posters, you know, I've got like, Kendrick Lamar, that one, that's the Notorious B.I.G., and then that one. Like, guilty pleasures. It's weird in terms of like albums. I don't know if this is a guilty pleasure album or not, but the first album that I got my parents to buy for me, because the first album I bought with my own money was Black Eyed Peas' first album before Fergie joined. It was just the three of them: Apple, will.i.am, and Taboo. So it was their first album. But the first album that I asked my parents to buy for me was Will Smith's Big Willie Style. The one with Getting Jiggy With It, Miami, Men in Black, you know, all of that on there. But then real guilty pleasures, I've got loads. Let me get my phone for you now, because I'm crap at remembering things off the top of my head. But I can tell you now, I've got a whole playlist full of them. I've got a playlist on here called Random. And then you go into Random, and I've got, just in front of me right now, I've got Avril Lavigne, Complicated. What a record. I've got Miley Cyrus, Party in the USA.
Oh,
which,
my day.
in my opinion, is Miley Cyrus's best record. I've also got Shaggy, It Wasn't Me. The Darkness.
Oh, classic.
I Believe in a Thing Called Love. I'm telling you, I've got, like, my music collection is not cool. Like, people think because, you know, or they may think because I'm on One Extra or whatever, it's a hip hop and R&B station, you know, it's cool. And even the albums that I just listed to you are quite, you know, cool albums or whatever. But my musical taste is not cool. I've got another playlist called Wedding Bangers, which is one I've made.
Come On Eileen isn't on there.
I'm not quite that bad, but I've got, you know, Lip Sync, Funky Town, Kool and the Gang, Celebration, Starship, We Built This City, Evelyn Champagne King, Love Come Down. That is a great record. Depeche Mode, just can't get enough. You know,
last week we had Johnny Nelson share a playlist with the AC Shoots the Breeze readers to the blog and stuff. Are you able to share one of your playlists?
Yeah, if you want. If the readers are really up for, you know, absolute terrible playlist, I could share the Wedding Bangers for you.
I reckon it might extend the age bracket of who's maybe watching it with some of those you've just shouted out.
Wedding Bangers, it's 2 hours and 30 minutes long, 33 songs worth of gold.
That's half marathon pace.
That's what I'm saying. Mark Morrison was turning a Mac on there as well. Oh, Wham! Wake Me Up Before You Go. Oh, I tell you.
I'm in. I'm locked in.